Today, all about our luxury yachts, Emerald Azura and Emerald Sakara. So again, for those who've already been attending our previous sessions on Europe river cruising, on the Mekong, on Scenic Eclipse, this is again totally different. So just to recap a little bit, by now that Emerald Cruises is one of the brands together with Scenic that make up the Scenic Group, which is an Australian company. And Emerald Cruises, a little bit younger brand. So Emerald Cruises is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. And initially, just like Scenic, we started with river cruising, right? So Emerald Cruises has 9 river ships sailing mainly, 8 of the 9 sail in Europe on the European rivers. And then we have one of our Emerald ships, Emerald Harmony, sailing on the Mekong River, which we've already talked about. And then just like with Scenic Eclipse, basically we wanted to develop also the ocean cruises with Emerald Cruises, but of course in a totally different concept to what Scenic Eclipse is doing. So where Scenic is going, among other things, to different expedition destinations, doing the polar regions, doing faraway destinations, all about the immersion in local cultures, going through French Polynesia, going to Asia, South America, doing Japan, Indonesia. The Emerald yachts are, first of all, much smaller than Scenic Eclipse. They only have 50 cabins and suites each, so 100 passengers. And this here is all about the yachting lifestyle. So imagine sailing in the summer along the Croatian coastline, jumping off the yacht into the ocean, going snorkeling, sunbathing on the deck, enjoying a pool, a cocktail, grabbing an e-bike, heading off into town, or going island hopping around the Caribbean in the winter months. That's really what Emerald Cruises is about in just one sentence. And this is what we're just going to dive right into the product. So just to give you an impression, I love this picture. Actually, I took this the first time I was on board. I went on board Emerald Azura in April 22. She was just launched, actually. So Emerald Azura was built was launched in the spring of 2022. And the sister ship Emerald Sakara just joined the fleet last year. So really brand new yachts. And you can see the difference with bigger cruise ships. So initially I kept asking, where is our ship? Where is our ship? Till I figured out, oh, there she is. So she is a little bit smaller. And it's just fantastic to be on board. You have the feeling of being more on a private yacht, just sailing with friends and family, even with 100 guests. I've been on board. I've done 3 cruises with Emerald, and I always have the impression that I'm with like 30, 40 people, more or less. So I always wonder, where is everybody else on the ship? So I've even had the case that I was on board for 6 days, and then I saw a couple walk by on the sky deck, and I thought, I haven't seen them yet all week. So even with such a small ship, such a small amount of passengers, it still spreads out across the ship. So it's never busy anywhere you go. Again, I already mentioned a couple of times, Scenic and Emerald Cruises, they have that Australian vibe, very laid back, very relaxed atmosphere. On the Emerald yachts is, I think, where you feel it the most. So you can imagine our captain during the day is wearing his polo shirt and Bermuda shorts. Nice captain Bermuda shorts, not swimming shorts, but still it's just really, that yachting vibe. To get into inclusions, so those have been different a little bit per product. I've mentioned already inclusions for the Emerald River Cruises. For the Emerald yachts, we've slightly adapted it to fit the yachting concept as well. So we still include all the essentials, meaning airport transfers. We include complimentary Wi-Fi. We include gratuities, both on board and on any excursions that the guests may participate in. We include port charges, of course. We include all the meals on board, but different from the Emerald River Cruises, on the yachts, we include all the drinks as well, making it really an all-inclusive package. And where on the river cruises, we have 1 excursion per day. Usually that's included. On the yachts, we've seen that, yeah, the guests don't really need that. If they're in the Mediterranean, a lot of times they just go off on their own. They tend to be a bit more laid back. They'll have maybe a late breakfast, hang by the pool, then go into town, walk around a little bit, have a drink somewhere on a piazza in Italy, maybe go shopping, come back for lunch, grab an e-bike, go off on their own. So it's all a little bit more, I would say not so much programmed. So there we include 1 or 2 excursions per week that we have. We, of course, have the e-bikes on board that the guests can just use whenever they feel like it. So yeah, that's a little bit different to our river cruising concept. When it comes to what are the facilities on board of a yacht, so it's a yacht that's 110 meters long. We have one restaurant on board, which is La Cucina. La Cucina is a restaurant which serves breakfast and lunch in the form of a buffet with different cooking stations. You have a daily changing menu, of course, and every night it's a 4-course set a la carte menu, again, changing on a daily basis. Guests have free seating. They can just come within the opening hours, usually I would say between 7 and 9 in the evening, for example. Of course, it will depend on the times that we're in the different ports, but more or less around that timing. Guests have the possibility of sitting inside, but also have the possibility of outdoor seating. So it's really up to them to choose. And yeah, it's just beautiful because it's such a small yacht. Even when you're sitting on the La Cucina terrace, you're really close to the water. So you really feel, that you feel that closeness, I would say, to the sea. You can hear the water as the ship is sailing. So it's really, really nice also to sit on the outside deck. Here you can see a top view. So what's one of the nice things that we have is also our marina platform. So I was mentioning it earlier, just jumping off the ship, going off for a swim. That's not something you tend to do on a cruise. But of course, it is something that you can do on the yacht. So here you can see it better. So basically, wherever possible, we try also not to dock necessarily in the port, but more lay at anchor, because we can then depending on the currents and the weather, of course, but then we can open the marina at the back of the yacht and guests can just either go swimming right off the yacht. We have stand-up paddles, we have kayaks, we have these little water scooters, these sea bobs that the guests can use. We have snorkeling equipment, and we have what you can see on the picture is a big trampoline. I've actually never seen anyone jump on it, but rather a lot of guests use it sort of as a floating mattress alternative to just relax. We do have floating mattresses as well that the guests can use. So it's really like an extension of a swimming area, of a pool area that we offer the guests. You can also see that our tender is basically docking on the side of the yacht and not at the back, so that we don't disturb actually the marina operation. So it's a little bit different to how it is on a normal cruise ship. Here, where the man in the red swim trunks is standing, looking over the marina, that's the restaurant terrace. So basically, you see what I mean when I say it's really, really close to the water. You really get that feeling. Yeah, and then on the top, you can already see the pool, which you could see from the bird's eye view as well. So we do have a pool as well, especially for guests who maybe don't always just want to go into the water, or if we are from the ocean, I meant, or if we're docked in the port, then there's always the alternative to just hang by the pool. The pool is also, so basically it has different sunbeds, sun chairs, and right next to the pool, we have our aqua cafe, which is a little terrace with a little cafe where guests can also grab a light breakfast. So if they say, oh, I want to have just a croissant and a coffee or a yogurt, just these small things, so not like an omelet, but small dishes, they can just grab breakfast by the pool. For lunch, we have flatbreads, burgers, salads as well in the Aqua Cafe. And we even open it for dinner. For dinner, it's upon signing up. So guests have to sign up for it. And then it's a special dinner that is organized there as well when it's possible, of course, weather allowing, because there you can only sit outside. So it offers a little bit of alternative as well to the La Cucina dining. On our top deck, we then have the sky bar. Also a fantastic place. So the pool actually overlooks the back of the yacht, whereas the jacuzzi on the sky deck overlooks the bow of the ship. So really the front. And then with the sky bar, we do cocktail workshops there. We'll do our sailaways there. I mean, it's a beautiful place when you're just sailing along the coastline and you're having a drink. And we had this, for example, in the Bay of Kotor, where we were just sailing through the bay for at least 2 hours, sitting on the top of on the sky deck with drinks. And we have on board, we don't have a theater or a big entertainment. We do always have a guitarist who is also a beautiful singer. And we had the guitarist up on the sky deck just playing music in the background, singing softly, and we were just enjoying the views. I mean, it's just amazing. So definitely a popular place. But again, you can see it spreads out quite nicely. We have different sunbeds, different chairs area next to the sky deck, the jacuzzi, sky pool, actually, it's called there as well. Guests can just have a seat. So yeah, it's very spacious. On the inside, we also have a gym. It's a little bit smaller than on Scenic Eclipse. I mean, the yacht is, of course, a bit smaller, but it has all the modern equipment that guests need. So they can get their workout in if they want. And we have also infrared sauna in the spa area that the guests can use. It's complimentary. If they'd like to book a massage, that is possible on board. That would be, of course, at a supplement. We also offer yoga classes. Usually once a day we do a class, and we change up the locations, but some of the times we do it outside on the observation terrace. So guests just get an outdoor yoga class as well, which is quite nice to do as well. Yeah, and then it comes to the cabins and suites. What do those look like? So we're on Scenic Eclipse. We have all veranda suites. On the Emerald yachts, we have 6 ocean view staterooms without a balcony. For those guests who would like that, you can see it has a very big window though. So yeah, it's really a really nice view, very bright, also fairly spacious. I mean, it's almost up to 20 square meters, depending on which stateroom they have, and even the 17 square meter one is quite nice in size. Everything you need is there. So those are the six ocean view staterooms, and then 36 of the 50 cabins are our balcony suites that you can see here. So they're between 26.5 to 28.5 square meters. Again, yeah, fairly spacious, with a bathroom with shower, have their own little 2 seats outside on the balcony. The mini bar is also included in all categories. So again, guests can choose to grab something from the minibar or just go have a drink in the lounge. We do have a few larger suites as well. So we have 2 deluxe balcony suites that go gradually up in size. So basically the deluxe balcony at around 35 to 37 square meters. Then we have our terrace suite and our yacht suite, both very similar in the terms of interior space. Just that the yacht suite is 65 square meters, including the terrace outside, and the terrace suite is around 60 to 62 square meters. So it has a larger outdoor space, but it's a little bit smaller on the indoor side. But apart from that, from the look and feel, they're both very similar. And then we have our largest suites, which is our owner suite, somewhere between 108 and 110 square meters. Again, with a huge living room area, a separate bedroom area, and then also the outdoor terrace. The bigger suites, so the deluxe balcony, terrace suite, yacht suite, and owner suite, we have 2 of each on the yacht. So you can imagine with only 50 cabins and suites, availability does get a little bit limited quickly. So we are trying to get our clients or our agents to book earlier. So we're now pushing already for 2025, even 2026 departures on the yachts. Destination-wise, you have to think basically the yachts don't do long-haul itineraries. We don't go to Japan or Indonesia, where the summers in the Mediterranean, along, as I mentioned, the Croatian coastline. We do the French and Italian Riviera. We go through the Greek islands. So it's really, small destinations in the sense that We don't sail for hours on end in between days. There's not many sea days. It's really just, yeah, enjoying the destination up close. And then in the winters, we spend our time in the Caribbean again, island hopping along those different islands. So to give you a little bit of an idea of itineraries, we currently have our yachts planned to leave for the Caribbean within actually next month. And the yachts will then be sailing there until March, more or less, yeah, till March. And we have on certain departures, we have an included flights promotion, which is always quite nice, especially for long haul flights to the Caribbean. So this is the best example. You can see Eastern Caribbean with St. Bart's. It's an 8-day itinerary with Emerald Sacara, where you start in Barbados, ending in St. Martin. So also accessibility wise with British Airways shouldn't be too much of an issue. And on 7-day itineraries, we include economy class flights, meaning that our reservations team books the flights for you. Of course, they will check with you, is this flight okay? Is the timing fine? And then we will just package it up for you. And it's just part of the included services. The same goes for our longer itineraries, except that on the 14-night itineraries, we include business class flights. So it's, again, exactly the same concept. This is a little bit different itinerary. This is Emerald Azura. Emerald Azura will be sailing out of Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, or St. John's. And what I really love about this itinerary, this is basically 2 7-day cruises back to back. So you could also say, oh, my guests just want to book 7 nights. They want to do just half of the itinerary. That's perfectly fine. Then they would have the economy class flights included as well. And in this case, if they do the full 14 nights, they get, they have, of course, Puerto Rico. They have the US and British Virgin Islands. We have stops in St. Martin, so you have a little bit of the Dutch inspiration. We do Guadeloupe for a bit of more that French feeling. We're twice in St. Bart's, so once per week, either with a long stay or even an overnight. So guests really have time to enjoy. We even go to Montserrat. So yeah, it's quite a diverse itinerary. And to me, a lot of times, sometimes people come to me and they're like, yeah, Caribbean, I mean, what is there to see there? I mean, it's just, it feels like you're just going to the beach all the time. And I've done a Caribbean cruise years ago. I was also there for 2 weeks and I really loved it because every day I was in a new island. I, again, also had those different cultural influences. I would do some sightseeing in the morning, go to a new beach every day in the afternoon. It was the ultimate beach holiday that I had. And here in the yacht, it's even more special, I would say, because we try to stop, of course, in smaller ports. So, for example, Jos van Dijk is a yachting island, so there won't be any big ships there. For example, Guadeloupe, the big ships tend to go to the other side. They tend to stop in Pointe-à-Pitre, whereas we with the yacht will be in De and Île-des-Saintes. So again, giving a little bit of that feeling of it's just you and your yacht on this planet. That's sort of what we go for. Here in the picture, you can also see that we're basically at anchor in front of the Piton in St. Lucia, which is also something we will do. Then pop open the marina and you just can enjoy those beautiful views. So yeah, it's really a very, very different type of cruise that you would be doing in the Caribbean. Heading then back to the Mediterranean, we will have also a vast number of itineraries. So as I mentioned, the yachts do fill up quickly, and that counts especially for the Mediterranean. We do, of course, as an Australian company, have a lot of Australian guests on board, but also some Americans, Canadian guests. And they tend to book pretty early because for them, of course, Europe is a long haul destination. So they book up to 2 years in advance. And the Mediterranean is a very popular destination. So we see that currently for the Mediterranean 2025, we're at almost 90% occupancy, which for a European is difficult to get them to book so far in advance. But there are some really, really highlight itineraries that we will have, for example, in 2025 and will repeat in 2026 that now already we see the availability is either completely sold out on really, really special itineraries where we really want you, to promote it already for 2026. For 2025, we do, of course, still have some itineraries. The advantage is a lot of them have same starting and ending ports, so it's easy for flights. This one, for example, going along the Amalfi Coast, which is really, just a beautiful destination as such, I would say. You start in Civitavecchia, and then head off along Amalfi. You go to Capri, see the different Italian villas and boutiques and beach clubs and restaurants. You can just stroll through the different towns, grab an e-bike, go off sightseeing. On the day that we're in Capri, our overnight will already be in Sorrento. So there you have the coastal cliffs overlooking the Bay of Naples. Guests can just head to one of the local wine bars in the evening. So we do have a lot of our destinations in the Mediterranean where we have a long stay during the day, where we don't leave before 9 or 10 p.m. And we have the one or other where we do an overnight. Yeah, so that's also the advantage of not having to sail very far and having a small yacht. We have that possibility of just staying a little bit longer in port, which our guests really love as well. This itinerary goes also to Porto Cervo in Sardinia. It goes to Bonifacio in Corsica. So again, yeah, really a nice combination. And we totally go to the other side, to the Balearic Islands as well. So this one starts and ends in Barcelona. So there you have a little bit of the Costa Brava, a little bit of the Balearic Islands, going to Menorca and Mahon, going to Palma, to Ibiza, which is always really nice to visit. So those are itineraries that we do like around this time in October, when it's already starting to get a little bit less weather-wise back home. It's still usually really nice in the Mediterranean. So we see that those are still really nice itineraries to sort of extend the summer a little bit. And one of the itineraries that's also very popular along the, actually also along the Italian coast, which is already now almost sold out for 2025. So I'm already promoting 2026, is an itinerary that includes Portofino. We go to Porto Venere. We go to Santa Margherita, and then head all the way also to Monte Carlo and Nice. So you can see in the picture Portofino, it's really picturesque. It has these narrow streets, it has these colorful houses, also again high-end boutiques, seafood restaurants. We will also have a stop in Marina di Carrara, which is where the Carrara marble comes from. Basically, it's a seaside village. But it's known really for the marble. And we also have a Discover More excursion, which is at a supplement for guests who want to go see how the marble is mined and quarried there in the mountains. Again, very, very popular destination, especially also with Portofino and Porto Venere included. One of my favorite itineraries is the one I was talking about earlier when we were sailing through the Bay of Kotor. It's an itinerary that goes from Dubrovnik to Athens or back. So we have this itinerary quite a few times as well in 2025 and in 2026. And it's really fantastic because the Bay of Kotor, it's just beautiful to just sail through it, few hours, enjoy the views. And we're such a small yacht, we actually dock in the port of Kotor. So within 5 minutes, you're in the center of town. We at the time took an e-bike and just went off exploring, which was fantastic to see. It goes to different Greek, we have different Greek islands that we stop at. We also go to Parga, we do Lefkada, we go through the Corinth Canal, which of course not every ship can go through. So you can see in the picture that as such is already a highlight. And then we also go to Itea, where we have then the possibility of going to the archaeological site of Delphi, which is also a highlight for our guests. We will add much more Greek itineraries in 2026. We do see that the Greek islands are still very much in demand. So we have some itineraries that will even include, basically going all the way to Istanbul. We have Patmos, Delos, Milos, that we're adding. So you can see that, of course, we will do Mykonos and Santorini because our guests expect to go to the bigger islands, but we will combine it with these smaller islands that are usually much less accessible when guests book a cruise to the Greek islands. Another really nice itinerary in 2026 will be our classical Greek itinerary, where there we again include as well Delos, Chania, we go to Hydra. So again, yeah, I think it will be really, really nice, especially Hydra, which of course, as most Greek islands, is very picturesque as well. But again, distinctive because it has a little bit more of the rugged terrain, but combined with these clear turquoise waters, this lush greenery. Yeah, and it has these cobblestone streets in the center. And of course, yeah, it's a little bit less touristic, less crowded, I would say, than, for example, Santorini. And again, the combination of both will really, really make a difference. Yeah, so here you can see another itinerary that we will have going from Athens back to Athens, including Patmos and Paros this time. So really different combinations possible depending on what your clients are looking for specifically. Something I haven't mentioned yet, in 2026, we will also be launching a third yacht, joining the Emerald fleet. It will be Emerald Kaia. And Emerald Kaia will be joining us in April of 2026. A little bit bigger than Emerald Azura and Sakara, but just by 28 guests. So we have 128 guests on board. This will also mean that the cabins and suites are designed on the yacht to be around 10% larger. The sky deck will be extended to have an additional indoor sky lounge. So the marina will also have a small indoor lounge, some additional water sports facilities. We'll have also the possibility of a more open air gym, which you can see on the top right picture. So from the gym, you can just go right off into the water. We're adding water slides on all of our Emerald yachts. So the ones on Azura and Sakara are due to come actually within the next few weeks already. So they should be there for the Caribbean season. So you can see, yeah, quite some news coming. And with Emerald Kaia, she will do the Adriatic in the summer months of 2026 and will then be heading to the Indian Ocean to go island hopping around the Seychelles in the winter of 2026. So the itineraries of Emerald Kaia are also already bookable because we can already book tours all the way to end of 26. So this is one of the itineraries she will be doing, which is the Croatian coastline. Basically, again, it's 2 7-day itineraries packed back to back. So if you're going Venice to Dubrovnik, you have one itinerary. And if the week right after you go back from Dubrovnik to Venice, all the itineraries or all the stops on the itinerary are completely different. Yeah? So that you can do 2 weeks back to back with repetition. So this is really the ultimate Croatian coastline tour. Apart from that, Emerald Kaia will also be sailing from Limassol to Athens. Again, yeah, doing diverse Greek islands, including Nisyros, Spetses, Nafplios. So even, yeah, more, I would say, unique stops that we will have on the itinerary. And then also combining basically the Greek islands with the Corinth Canal and Istanbul. Yeah, so you see that there's quite a lot of itineraries. This is actually just a selection. So I could have gone another half hour going through all the itineraries. So if you'd like some more information on that, please feel free to reach out. I've already mentioned we have printed brochures available. The new Emerald Cruises yacht brochure is coming out in November, and it's going to have all the itineraries all the way up to 2027. We have a yacht cruise calendar, which is a bit thinner version with the itineraries just as an overview. And we have also some flyers or folders that are printed that can be sent with our included flights promotion in the Caribbean and our Mediterranean availabilities for 2025. Yeah, so that and everything can just be asked. Once again, join our Facebook group. I know some of you have already done that, so it's great to see you guys within the group. Actually added as a QR code now, it might be easier. then to have the link. And that's it already from my side. So thank you so much. This time I actually stuck to the 30 minutes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kay. That was another fantastic presentation. I have to apologize. I forgot to press record at the very start, which you probably noticed. So
Yeah.
for anybody watching this back, sincere apologies. You missed only about 15, 20 seconds. So apologies if the start of the video is a bit abrupt. And anybody maybe who's joined us later on who's watching this back. So you missed my housekeeping at the start of the recording. So I'll just remind you guys now, obviously, this is the very last in a webinar series that we have run with Scenic and Emerald. So of course, you have the chance to watch all of those back. They are all on ITTN. They're on our YouTube. They're on our Facebook, Instagram, on our website. They are absolutely everywhere. And just a reminder that just for everybody who registered and joined us and who watched these videos, you will be in with a chance of winning a place on a Scenic or Emerald fam trip in 2025. So we will be announcing the lucky winner at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for everybody for joining us. We really, really appreciate it.